Prelude to Ulysses. Alex reads the Book of the Child, Part 2. I'm pretty sick. Recovering. Oh, the mustache. I haven't worn this in a while. Just feels right. Last time on Alex reads the Ancient Evenings by Norman Mailer. Sorry, I'm hopped up on all sorts of cough syrup. God, I think it's just pretty fucking nuts. I'm not gonna go over it. But I think he's back to the boat. And his memories of the situation. Part 2 of the Book of the Child. Just as we can stare into the depth of a golden goblet and find the reverberation of a thought in the last drop, so did I comprehend that the last treasure of this day on the river would still be found in the private rooms of the Pharaoh. Sitting on my cushion of silver filigree, the cheeks of my buttocks in a subtle tumult, I curved my body into the soft reception of Hathfertiti's arm, and felt new heats in my thighs to bring back the memory of my mother and Menenhedet from the night before. What a transformation! Last night I had nearly cried out with my mother. Today I sat in a boat lulled with heat. Of course, I had an unexpected reward. For Menenhedet had gone on to make love to my mother, or, as I saw it then, he moved with her in an act I could not recognize as grappling or a dance, nor yet as a prayer. And it even looked at moments like the couplings of animals, except that they did not present the stupid look of animals, the stupid look that animals offer when they are joined. About the time they were looking at each other with many an aristocratic growl, more like birds than hogs, I slipped away in a quandary of heat and humiliation, descended the stairs, found the room with my bed, and being obliged to sob at the thought of my mother naked with my great-grandfather, was for the first time pacified in a special way by my nurse, Ayasayab. The part of my body that grew between my legs, fierce until then only with the need to urinate, was christened Sweet Finger by her in the dark, and Ayasayab put her Syrian lips on it and gave me sensations I would not otherwise have known. Even this morning, when I looked across the water at her, for Ayasayab was in the barge that followed with the servants, I would bring my hand to my nose, and I would still smell of her mouth. Would bring my hand to my nose, and it would still smell of her mouth. A nice round odor of onions, fish, and oil. Since my palms had certainly held on to Sweet Finger for long after Ayasayab was gone. And so her lips left a pull on my memory, equal to the lap of soft waves on our hull as barges rowed by the other direction, and I laughed. To the astonishment of others, when my father, hoping to enter the mood of his wife and her great-grandfather, if by no more than the bite of his teeth and the silence, now was heard to say, "This year, we're well rid of the stink." "No, its odor is fascinating, I confess," said Menenhedet. "I confess," said Menenhedet, after the pause that followed my laughter. "Well, I find it curious," said my mother, on occasion. And I was reminded of them licking each other. I don't understand. And I was reminded of them licking each other. Of course, nothing was equal to our river when it began to rise, and each old slime on the flats began to stir with its last odors as the water reached higher into the caked mud and oil reeds, while feasts of insect floated down on the foliage. A terrible smell for a week, as if our earth was shucking its filthiest skin. Each village, now an island with its own high ground offerings, offering the new stench of sheep and cattle pressed together for these few weeks, close enough to sleep in the huts of their pleasant masters. An atrocious condition, but for nights of full moon, when the villages would look like dark islands of Silver Lake, when the villages would look like dark islands on a silver lake, and the poorest boat, not big enough for 2 men, just a tying and twisting of long reeds coated with pitch, would appear as elegant in such light as the skiffs of Papyrus, on which my great-grandfather, my father, and their friends would now and then embark on a hunt. I am too sick to read this. We'll leave it right there for now. I'll try again. I just... coughing, this is getting to me, man. Try again some other time.